All right, so let's talk about what happened at the Game Awards at the very end. But before we do that, I do want to celebrate Elden Ring for winning Game of the Year for 2022, and also God of War swept a bunch of categories. Yeah, a bunch of very deserving games just earned some really great awards, and I think that's worth celebrating because I feel like a lot of the conversation just got upended by this stupid kid who went and did something stupid up on stage. It has certainly yielded plenty of memes, but it was certainly a big distraction from, what was happening at the time. Miyazaki, this big deal moment for him kind of being upended. So just wanted to give a big shout out to all the great games and game developers out there before I cover this story. But on to the story itself. Well, many of you saw what happened. This kid just kind of went up on stage and tried to nominate Bill Clinton or something. So you can actually see the whole situation playing out live. So this is my stream of the Game Awards. By the way, appreciate all of you guys who tuned in and for bearing with me with the technical issues. I'm at a hotel right now, and hotel internet is not great. So you can see right here that Miyazaki's on his way to accepting his award.
This is what happened with God of War 2018. Red Dead Redemption 2 swept.
And right here is the kid who decides to just sneak in with the crowd and successfully manages to do so. Nobody suspected a thing.
But God of War 1. Fuck yes.
And then right here you can see that the kid just kind of
I was for a second thinking, man, God of War might actually
ushers people onto the stage, and everyone's just buying it. He seems like he's, I don't know, either part of the team or part of the Game Awards crew, so nobody's suspecting anything.
Man.
And then as we skip forward, you can see that the kid's just kind of standing there.
Playing this, and this is real, and I'm interacting with this world.
And yeah, I remember like thinking the kid kind of stands out, but maybe he's just, I don't know, like an assistant or something, or a translator or something, I don't know. But
Like awe-inspiring.
you can see right here the kid eventually moves behind Miyazaki and team, waiting for his moment to sneak in onto the mic and say his bit. And this kid's just up on the stage this entire time while Miyazaki's giving his speech, just kind of like trying to be as unassuming as possible.
Oh man.
Just standing there. And then eventually, we get to the end of the speech. As the speech is wrapping up, the kid's still just back there and positioning himself in a very sneaky way before finally,
Mind-blowing experiences.
here he comes.
Can't wait for Armored
Hey,
Core.
Matan. Real quick, I want to thank everybody and say that I think I want.
You can see how confused everyone is. They're like, this is not, who's this kid? He's not supposed to be here.
Hey, Matan. Real quick, I want to thank everybody and say that I think I want to nominate this award to my Reformed Orthodox Rabbi, Bill Clinton. Thank you, everybody.
What?
My confusion was palpable.
What?
All right.
So that's kind of how things transpired. A few people even like clapped. I think they were just like, is this part of the show? Because sometimes the Game Awards does bits. And initially I thought maybe this is a bit to reveal one last thing before the show wraps up. I thought there was like one last big announcement or something. That's where I thought this moment was headed. But then I thought about what the kid was saying. And I'm like, that makes no sense what just happened. Bill Clinton, what is going on? Now, there's plenty of speculation about what this kid's intentions even were. There are some theories out there that it might have been driven by anti-Semitism, but that's not entirely proven. The messaging was just like very random and weird. It's hard to say for sure, but it's worth noting that this isn't the first time this kid has done something like this. Back in 2019, he apparently interrupted a World of Warcraft event with the message, "Free Hong Kong."
We know is connected. You got a question, mate?
Yeah. Free Hong Kong.
Sounds good. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Sorry about that.
So yeah, that was, I actually remember this moment. I actually covered this happening. So that same kid was the one who came up on stage and said that whole thing about Bill Clinton. A year later, he came on in frickin' InfoWars and shared that he also disrupted an NBA game with this message, expressing support for pro-democracy protesters in Hong Kong. But as for what this statement right here was about, this is the quote from the Game Awards. Yeah, I don't know how to interpret this, really. It was an unfortunate situation. Look, I know everyone's laughing at what transpired, and it was certainly one of the crazier things that happened during the Game Awards. I mean, I kind of jokingly tweeted, in an unexpected turn of events, Bill Clinton clutched Game of the Year 2022 from Elden Ring's grasp, and the memes have been flowing, Rabbi reformed in Dark Souls format. You've got somebody here invaded by Dark Spirit. Memes like this where this kid is just invading somebody's moment, in this case Miyazaki, me vibing and happy, and then my depression sneaking in there. So yeah, plenty of memes like that. That was certainly not how anyone was expecting the show to end, and it's unfortunate because the show was going so well and everything pretty much went without a hitch, you know what I mean? Even Joseph Ferris relatively kept his cool this year, and then at the very end, just when we thought, okay, it's over, and we got to the finish line, right before we hit the finish line, this kid came up and just upended Miyazaki's moment, kind of became the center of attention instead of Elden Ring winning Game of the Year and Miyazaki's acceptance speech. It really sucks that it happened, as funny as the memes are and everything. And it's also like a security concern. I really hope that they do a better job of vetting people who are walking up on stage, because who knows what could have potentially happened if somebody had less than ideal intentions up on that stage. I mean, this kid already obviously had less than ideal intentions, but if security isn't taken more seriously, something potentially dangerous could happen. So I'm just glad ultimately that everyone came out safe from all this, and that at the end of the day, it wasn't like the biggest deal in the world. It was just like a little moment that unfortunately gained too much attention, too much spotlight, because it was just so unexpected and random and confusing, and people were just wondering, was this part of the show? Now, swift justice was immediately doled out. Jeff Keighley tweeted minutes after the show ended that the individual who interrupted our Game of the Year moment has been arrested, and you can see right here the mass support that his has garnered, with this tweet already on its way to almost 300,000 likes. And I say good. I mean, the kid was obviously trespassing into places and areas where the kid wasn't supposed to be. Now, it's worth noting that the arrest may not have lasted long, given that since the event, he's been active on social media after he was arrested, potentially suggesting that he might have been released. It's not clear what punishments, if any, he will face for his actions. Host Jeff Keighley said that he was arrested, but he was quickly active on social media after this, perhaps meaning that the police did not keep him in custody for long. But who knows, legal or criminal action may be taken against him sometime down the line, or maybe it's something that they'll ultimately just let go as an event that was unfortunate but isn't worth kind of prolonging. Yeah, when that whole thing transpired, Jeff Keighley briefly looked pretty upset up on stage before he composed himself and closed out the show, and understandably so, because again, it felt like everything went pretty smoothly up until the very end, when this whole thing drew everyone's attention instead of all of the other awards and announcements, though those got plenty of attention as well. And I gotta say, this Game Awards show was really, really solid. Pretty good, actually. They had some really big hitters in terms of announcements. They truncated some things, streamlined some stuff. Still not perfect, and obviously the Game Awards still has those Game Awards moments, you know what I mean? But overall, I was like really engaged with a lot of the announcements that they made. Some great surprises, seeing Death Stranding 2, Armored Core 6, and plenty of other games that I'll cover hopefully in another video where I'll sort of summarize everything that we saw at the event. All of that stuff did look great, and there's just a lot of good stuff to look forward to. And I think that should be the main takeaway with these celebrations. But this is kind of what happened. Very, very bizarre. I have little doubt that for the next Game Award and beyond, they're going to try to find a system to make sure that they're vetting people as they're walking up on the stage so that they can immediately identify anyone who's not supposed to be up there, because that kid managed to be up there for far too long for someone who absolutely did not belong on that stage. But with all that said, clearly a lot of work went into the Game Awards, and at the end of the day, we did get to see some really cool stuff and celebrate some really great, amazing, incredible games. So with all said and done, I don't think this kid ruined the night or anything. But yeah, that's kind of the summary of everything. I'll do a more extensive sort of Game Awards coverage a little later. But for now, Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are on how that whole ending played out, and just generally what you thought about this year's Game Awards. How would you grade it? And what were some of your favorite announcements? And did your predictions for who would win Game of the Year and other awards come true? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.